Well, thanks for joining me for this little update. First of all, on the racing scene, we finished the season in San Diego with our motocross team. We're really excited about next year. A lot of plans going on there. Our biggest disappointment this year was Josh Grant getting hurt. But I think we're making big plans. I'll kind of keep you updated as we go forward with the motocross team. Nationwide, we've had a little bit of a disappointment here with the new car. We came out with the car tomorrow with the Nationwide cars. Still run up front. Had a disappointing situation with Kyle Busch at Richmond, where we actually came in for a pit stop and the gas can spout that goes into the car actually came apart. Shows you what can happen in motorsports, and probably cost us a top 1 or 2. I think he would have challenged for that, but we're a little bit behind there with the new car tomorrow, and Nationwide to set us back a little bit, considering we were so dominating in almost every race for the last 3 years. Shows you in pro sports how things change very quickly. And so we're working hard to get on top of our game there. Then in the Cup Series, I think since the last time we talked, we've had some great things happen to our race teams on the Cup side. First of all, let's talk about Joey Logano. He finished top 4 last week at Richmond. It was an exciting race for us. Joey, that's 11 top 10s, I think, this year. That's as many as a number of the guys in the chase have. We've just been inconsistent, but I think part of what we're excited about in the future is Joey's talent and the fact that he can get up front, and he showed that this year. We're excited about that. We're excited about his improvement and looking forward to him next year. Hopefully, our goal will be to be in the chase. Okay, Kyle Busch, what can you say there? At Bristol was first in motorsports. Kyle won the truck race. He came back and won the Nationwide race in our car. The truck was his truck on his race team. The Nationwide victory was in our car, and the Cup victory was also in our car. Now think about that. You're talking about hundreds of laps around a small racetrack. All the things could happen to you with 42 cars out there. All the wrecks you could have, avoiding things. And he actually started back a ways in the Cup race. It shows you what a talent he has. It was a great weekend for us. And we were really excited about Kyle, and also strong finishes going down the stretch, heading into the chase. He'll be starting number 4 in the chase. We're excited about that. Denny Hamlin, at Atlanta 2 races ago, winds up leading the race. And again, it shows you what can happen in motorsports. He said probably one of the best cars he's ever had, one of the fastest cars. Qualified on the pole. Turned around, came back, was leading the race, and is hauling about halfway through the race. We blow a motor, and we're done. And we're out. It shows you from the thrill of running that good to the agony of having a disappointment like that. He turns around and comes back this past week at Richmond, his home racetrack, and is the dominant car and wins the race. So with that win, it gives him 6 victories. It gives us 9 for the year in Cup, and it catapults Denny to starting the chase as the #1 car in the chase. And so we're extremely excited about that. Everybody out there knows that we've raced all year to be in the chase with those 2 cars. And now it becomes, can we perform at a top level and have a chance, which we've got a chance, to win a championship. I think it's going to be one of the most competitive chases, and certainly we're excited about being it. What it means to all of us here at the race team is so important. And so I want to spend just a minute there. I've talked to you a little bit about this a couple of times in the past. But if you remember in Luke, in the 5th chapter, what's described there in the New Testament is the fact that the fishermen and the disciples had been out on the sea fishing that night. And I've mentioned to you before, these guys, they had probably the most knowledge of fishing in that area, and particularly on that body of water, of anybody in the world. Very, very good at what they do. That's what they lived on. That was their life. That was their occupation. Think about the equipment had. You know they had the best equipment, best boats and nets, so they had great knowledge, best equipment, and yet they'd been out that night, and what it says in Luke there, the 5th chapter, it says this: they had come back and they had caught nothing, zero, nothing. And then Christ comes to them on the beach, and basically what he says to them there, he says, hey, look, go back out, and I want you to put the nets down on the other side. And so think about this now. These guys have been out there all night. They've got nothing, the big zero. And I think they probably said, as it's recorded, hey, Christ, we've done that. We fished all night. And he says, just obey me. And they did. I think that's a lesson for all of us. Sometimes when you're getting the big zero and whatever you're doing, sometimes God just asks us to be faithful. They did. Went back out, put their nets down on the other side, and basically what it says, when they tried to pull the nets up, they were so full of fish that they had to get extra help. And basically what that says to me is what? It doesn't matter how well we're prepared. It doesn't matter what kind of knowledge you have about your occupation. If we think about our occupations, without God in it, without God in our occupation, we can wind up with zero. And so I think about that as we head into the chase. Think about racing. Denny, yes, he won the race last week. The 2 previous races before that, we had a drive shaft problem that cost us a finish in Bristol. We had blown a motor in Atlanta. So there's a great car. Certainly Denny's at the top of his game. Mike Ford, the crew chief's top of the game. Great equipment, and yet we wound up with what? A zero. We wound up with nothing out of those 2 races. So we're so focused here. I had a team meeting this week, and just to kind of let you know where we're coming from, I asked everybody in the team meeting, would you be willing to sign up and pray for one of those races coming up in the chase? And what we did is we took all those people that signed up here at Joe Gibbs Racing and assigned them different races to be praying for. So that's our approach. We know without God involved in this race team's a miracle anyway. To think we have 430 people working here in racing when we started out the first year with 16 people. That's a miracle in itself. So we're focused on that. That certainly would be something that if you study that 5th chapter in Luke, I think it's something that could apply to all of our occupations. And maybe you're facing similar type things out there. It's a make or break year for you in some way. I would just refer you to that chapter. It was a great encouragement, I know, to me.